if you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. As the final season of his 4-year rookie contract approaches, quarterback Kenny Pickett faces an uncertain future. Despite a promising start to his career, the Cleveland Browns have made the decision not to exercise his 5th-year option, a move that has sent ripples through the league. Pickett, now 26 years old, is scheduled to make $2.623 million for the upcoming season, a modest sum considering the high stakes ahead. As the Browns begin to make their roster decisions, Pickett finds himself in a fierce competition for the starting role. Veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, who has years of experience in the NFL, is in the mix, along with a pair of highly anticipated 2025 draft picks, Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. Adding to the drama is the fact that Deshaun Watson, Cleveland's original starter, is sidelined indefinitely with a right Achilles tendon injury, leaving the door wide open for Pickett to prove himself. For Pickett, the possibility of a $22.117 million contract next season, had Cleveland decided to pick up his 5th-year option, is now off the table, according to Cleveland.com. And this leaves him in a precarious position, knowing that his performance this season could dictate his future in the league. Pickett was originally selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1st round of the 2022 draft, with the 20th overall pick. However, his journey took an unexpected turn when he was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in March of last year. There, he spent the entire 2023 season as the backup to star quarterback Jalen Hurts. In his limited role, Pickett saw action in 5 games, including 1 start. Over that stretch, he completed 25 of 42 passes, 59.5% for 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. While his numbers weren't eye-popping, they did offer a glimpse of his potential, especially considering the limited opportunities he had behind Hurts. Throughout his 3 seasons in the NFL, split between the Steelers and the Eagles, Pickett has shown flashes of promise. Across 755 passing attempts, he has completed 471 of them, 62.4%, for a total of 4,365 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. His tenure with the Steelers saw him post a 14-10 record as a starter, providing him with valuable experience. But it was his lone start for the Eagles in 2024, filling in for the injured Hurts, that became the most significant moment of his career. That start ended with a Super Bowl championship, a victory that not only earned him a ring but also solidified his place as a reliable backup in one of the NFL's top teams. Now, with a critical season ahead, Pickett must navigate the uncertainty of his contract situation, the looming competition for the starting role, and the chance to prove he deserves a long-term future in the NFL. If he can rise to the challenge, this season could define his career, potentially opening the door to a starting role or a fresh chapter elsewhere. However, the pressure is mounting, and the clock is ticking for Pickett to show he can seize this opportunity. With the stakes so high, all eyes will be on him in the coming months. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. In one of the most shocking moves the NFL has ever seen, Patrick Mahomes is no longer the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, you heard that right. Mahomes, the face of the Chiefs, the architect of their dynasty, the player many believed would spend his entire career in Kansas City, is headed to the Cleveland Browns in a blockbuster trade that has sent shockwaves through the entire football world. The news broke earlier this morning, and it didn't just break, it shattered the internet. Social media exploded, sports talk shows scrambled to adjust their programming, and fans everywhere were left either stunned in silence or ranting in disbelief. Patrick Mahomes, the 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl champion, and widely considered the best quarterback in the game today, is on his way to Cleveland. And for the first time in what feels like forever, the Cleveland Browns might finally have their franchise quarterback. Not just a franchise quarterback, but the ultimate game changer. Let's take a step back for a second and try to understand how this even happened, because on the surface it feels impossible. Mahomes had a contract extension worth $500 million. He was beloved by Chiefs fans. He seemed like the perfect fit for Kansas City, both on and off the field. But behind the scenes, sources say tensions had been brewing for a while. Quiet frustrations over roster decisions, disagreements about the long-term vision for the team, and even some financial concerns about how the Chiefs would continue to build around Mahomes' massive contract had started to create cracks in what once seemed like an unbreakable relationship. According to insiders close to the situation, Mahomes had been feeling increasingly isolated over the last year. The departure of key players, the inability to keep the offensive line fully intact, and constant pressure to do more with less reportedly wore him down. While he remained a consummate professional in public, behind closed doors, there were real conversations about his future. Conversations that escalated after this past season when the Chiefs, despite Mahomes' heroics, fell short in the playoffs. At the same time, the Cleveland Browns had been quietly monitoring the situation. With a new front office determined to make bold moves and a roster that's quietly been improving year over year, the Browns saw an opportunity where others didn't. They had draft picks, they had young talent, and more importantly, they had the cap flexibility to absorb Mahomes' massive contract. And so they went for it, pushing all their chips to the center of the table in a move that could redefine not just their franchise, but the entire landscape of the NFL. The trade itself is massive. The Browns are sending 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a trio of young stars, including Pro Bowl defensive end Myles Garrett, to Kansas City in exchange for Mahomes. It's the kind of trade that seems more like something out of a video game than real life. But it's happening. Mahomes will now suit up in the orange and brown of the Cleveland Browns. The immediate reaction across the league has been a mixture of awe, excitement, and sheer disbelief. Former players, analysts, and current stars have all taken to social media to express their shock. Chiefs fans are devastated, feeling betrayed and heartbroken. Browns fans, meanwhile, are celebrating like they've won the Super Bowl. And honestly, after decades of heartbreak and dysfunction, who can blame them? Mahomes himself has already released a statement thanking Kansas City for everything and expressing excitement about the new chapter ahead. He said all the right things, but you could feel the emotion behind his words. This wasn't an easy decision for him. Kansas City isn't just where he played football. It's where he grew into a superstar, where he built a family, and where he became a legend. Leaving that behind, no matter the circumstances, is never easy. On the Chiefs' side, head coach Andy Reid and general manager Brett Veach held an emergency press conference to try and explain the move. Reid was visibly emotional, admitting that it was one of the hardest decisions he's ever been a part of. He emphasized that the organization did everything it could to keep Mahomes, but ultimately both sides agreed that a fresh start was best. Veach pointed to the massive haul of picks and players the Chiefs are getting back, saying it gives them flexibility to quickly reload and build a new contender. But let's be real, there's no replacing Patrick Mahomes. Not truly. You can stockpile picks, you can sign free agents, you can draft the next big thing, but Mahomes is a once-in-a-generation player. His combination of arm talent, creativity, leadership, and clutch performance is unmatched. And the Chiefs are going to feel his absence deeply, no matter how well they try to spin it. For the Browns, this is a dream come true. For so long, they were the NFL's ultimate punchline, the factory of sadness, the team that could never get out of its own way. They cycled through quarterbacks like a revolving door, endured heartbreak after heartbreak, and became synonymous with losing. But now they've got Patrick Mahomes, they've got the best player in football, and suddenly the future looks brighter in Cleveland than it has in generations. There will be questions, of course. Can Mahomes adjust to a new system, a new coach, a new city? Can the Browns protect him with their offensive line? Will the loss of so many key players in the trade hurt the overall roster? But right now, none of that matters. Right now, Cleveland is celebrating a historic victory. The kind of moment that could change everything for a long-suffering franchise. And let's not forget the ripple effects across the NFL. Every team in the AFC just had their road to the Super Bowl made a lot more complicated. The Browns instantly become contenders. The Chiefs, meanwhile, go from perennial favorites to a team in transition. The balance of power has shifted, and the entire league will be feeling the aftershocks of this move for years to come. It's not just about the games either. Mahomes brings star power. He brings national attention. He brings primetime games, merchandise sales, and an energy that lifts an entire city. Cleveland isn't just getting a quarterback. They're getting a brand, a face of the league. It's a transformational moment on every level. As for Mahomes, he now faces a brand new challenge. In Kansas City, he was chasing greatness, chasing dynasties. In Cleveland, he's chasing history. If he can lead the Browns to a Super Bowl, if he can be the one who finally ends decades of suffering, he won't just be a superstar. He'll be a legend, not just in Cleveland, but in the annals of NFL history. It's a stunning twist, a wild new chapter, and it's just getting started. Patrick Mahomes is a Cleveland Brown, and the NFL will never be the same again. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!